best ways to simplify your life is to learn when to say no. Not spreading yourself thin by showing up to every little event or every little invite. Understanding that you may hurt some people or they may be disappointed if you say no, but you have to make sure that you are in a state of a healthy state to be able to pour into those around you. And if you have so many obligations and to-dos and your to-do list is just crammed and things just keep adding in, you're going to get burnt out. You're going to feel burnt out, and all of that is going to internalize in your body. It's going to internalize in your nervous system. It's going to produce inflammation. You're not going to feel good, and you're not going to look good, and you're not really going to enjoy the things that you feel obligated to show up to anyways. So I've learned to say no to specific things, to specific people. One of the other areas is I am not a big drinker anymore. In my earlier days, I enjoyed it until I started realizing that I have to understand that I'm trading not only that night, because you're not really focused on time when you're drinking. It's just hours can go by and you have no idea, but you're also trading your tomorrow for that as well. So you're going to be hungover. You're not going to feel as good. You're probably going to skip your workout. You're going to want more carbs. You might go out to eat, So you're trading the future for what you're doing tonight. So I had to make sure this counts, either at my Christmas party or I'm celebrating something that's really important. And I'll have some champagne, but not in a consistent way. I'm talking like twice a year. Not just because we're at the pool or just because, to have a beer because it's a stressful day. If you do that, you're also teaching your kids to go towards alcohol and drinking because life is stressful. And so I prefer to keep my mind sharp and to stay clear, be sober-minded so I can make wise decisions. I don't like my body feeling toxic. It's so bad for you. It also ages you, and as women, that is one of the biggest things to age you is alcohol. Also, the toxins in the liver. Your liver's like a mothership. So even if you're a social drinker, so I did a liver detox last year, and halfway through the detox, I've noticed my mental clarity like sharpened big time. And I was writing down like how I felt as I was going through this detox. Now, you don't want to do a liver detox unless your body's in a state that it could actually detox, because otherwise you're just uprooting all the toxins and it's just floating all around. It's not going anywhere. So make sure either you work out, you sauna, you rebound, your lymphatic system's working properly before you do a detox. Otherwise you're going to feel like junk and you need to get it out of your body. So if you're drinking, your liver's not functioning properly, and your liver's the mothership of the body, then you're not functioning as your best. You're going to age quicker. Your cellular age could be much older than your actual age. And this is so important if you want to live a healthy, vibrant, simple life. Number one, be mindful of the time and how you spend your time. Number two, be able to say no to people without feeling guilty. And you might at first, some friends might make you feel guilty because you didn't show up to their thing or whatever. My husband's Hispanic, and a big thing was when we first got married was all the parties. I mean, if you know Hispanic families, they celebrate everything. Quinceañera, the parties are big, the families are big, so it's like 100 people. And I was like, well, this is like 4 parties a month. Every weekend we're partying. And what are they doing at partying? Drinking, music, eating. Well, no wonder everybody's big, because then you feel like junk the next day because you stayed up all night partying, eating chips and salsa and burritos and tacos and listening to music till 2 a.m. And I finally was just like, I don't want to do this. If you want to do that, that's fine. And I took a lot of heat for it, actually, because people were offended by it. She doesn't want to show up and celebrate. No, I don't, because I was trading not just that night, I was trading the future self and how I felt for that party, and it was just too much. So you have to be willing, when you set up these boundaries, you're gonna not please everybody. Your people might get upset with you and they might feel hurt, but they'll get over it. They still do it anyways, regardless if I'm there or not. Also, weaving different things into your life, like taking a 15-minute bath or a 15-minute walk, or putting a face mask on and a hair mask while you clean the house, listening to uplifting music. There's certain music that produces clarity in your body, and there's certain music that destroys. So you got to be careful about what you're listening to in the household also, because your DNA and your cells are directly affected to the frequency of the music and what you're listening to. So I like to I'm always aware of that. So sometimes it's worship music, sometimes it's classical, sometimes it's jazz, sometimes it's beachy, sometimes it's Christmas, sometimes it's New York jazz or whatever. And it helps keep the atmosphere of the home calm and nice. And it also helps as I'm cleaning and doing basic chores and, mom things like that. The other thing is eating out. So we used to eat out all the time. And again, I realized you're standing in line, you're waiting for your table, then you're waiting to order, then you're eating, then you're sitting there chatting, you're stuffed. Now, obviously, there's a time to go, let's eat out. You're meeting somebody, you're going out for a family outing. But this was like multiple times a week. So you figure 3 hours, maybe 4, had gone by during that. And while you're eating out, you're not really conscious or aware of how much you're consuming as far as the calories. And then normally you feel like junk. Like I think like every time I'd eat out, if it was like, let's say Cheesecake Factory, felt like junk after, like, heavy and lethargic and tired. You want to go home and sit on the couch and scroll because you just feel like garbage. I'm not going to the gym after that. I need to rest. Not only that, going out to Cheesecake Factory for a family of 5 is well over $100. I could get steak. You can get New York steak and rice and cucumber for less than that you could feed your family of 5 for 3 days or one time at Cheesecake Factory. So these were lessons that I started realizing, boring food is actually the best. The boring food, I thought, I'm not going to like all this. I do, because then I enjoy when I'm having a bowl of organic Alden's ice cream. I enjoy it because I'm not doing it all the time. Or if we do go out to eat for some yummy grass-fed burgers, we enjoy it. Actually, the last time we went out to eat for burgers, my son said the burgers we grill are better. We just get the Costco grass-fed burgers and we grill them. It's cheaper, more delicious, and probably less in calories. And if you want to get a yummy bun, you could do a nice brioche bun. So you're actually gaining control in life by not saying yes to everybody, by knowing when to pull back on certain areas. Even if I had already agreed, I'm going to be there, and the time came and maybe I was just burnt out. Maybe something happened in the week or the day and I needed to rest. I would say, you know what? I'm not going to make it, because either they're going to be disappointed, probably, but then you're going to show up not feeling your best. And there's a time and a place to follow through with when you say yes. And there's a time and a place to say, you know what, I need to listen to my body and I need rest right now and I need to pull back for my own sanity. And I just stopped apologizing for that. I'm like, well, I don't really owe an explanation. You don't own me because I said yes to you. You just become really intentional with your time in a way that you enjoy life. Like I homeschool during the summer. And so during the summer, we go to the movies a lot because it's 120 degrees. We also are at the pool. Obviously, it gets a little bit more in towards the end of the summer because it's like, okay, we've been at the pool, but there's so many trips and little places you can go just around your city or around your state to venture off to. And so I've learned to just weave those things in. And if I'm clear, I'm not burnt out, not drinking, I'm sober-minded, I feel good, my body's healthy, I'm showing up as my best. So who gets your best? Your kids, your spouse, yourself, God. Like, you're giving your best because you're saying no to the lower things. You're saying no to the things that are making you not your best. And remember, you don't owe people your life. Like, I feel like we get so tangled up in, well, they're going to be mad at me. Good. Let them. Or they're going to be disappointed, or, I'm never going to hear the end of it, or whatever. You got to make a decision that if you're going to keep trading your life for things that are going to destroy the future you, we can't get this time back. You don't get these years back. Everybody says your kids grow up so fast. Man, it is true. I've got tweens and teens now, and I think, man, when they were little, it was so much easier than it is now. I don't have time to engage in nonsense. I'm focused on raising soon-to-be adults. So who's got time to be engaging in nonsense drama and partying? Like, So you realize that life is so precious. I want to be my best. I definitely don't want to be a liability on my kids. So if I don't take care of myself now, I'm going to be a liability on them, not an asset. And that is terrible to do. So you have to be able to make the decisions that are going to give you some control back in life, give you some authority. It's up to you. You're accountable for your own choices. So we just need like the guts to say no. Hey, no, I'm not going to show up to that. I'm not going to show up to all these parties. Hey, you want to go out and get a drink? I mean, some of you might want the social drinking. For me, I'm done with that era of my life, so I'm not really interested in it anymore. So I've learned to let those old things kind of pass away. I don't have the desire for them anymore. I would rather do things that are going to produce, promote, give life, and have some time for some downtime, whether you want to read or you want to go for a walk or ride a bike. When you're stretched so thin, and really it's the timeline of the world, there's so much pressure to have the perfect house and the perfect car, and your kids got to go to the schools, and your kids have to be in sports, and they have to be all these things, and there's friends and this. You're going everywhere. The mom's like a taxi cab, going all over the place, and she resents the husband for not helping around the house, and it really can drive families apart. Instead of saying, no, I'm not going to do that. We didn't want to work our life to have multiple cars or a giant house, for many years. Maybe in the future we'll get a bigger space or whatever, but I kind of like the simplicity of things, the simplicity of life. It's simple. And a lot of people are like, well, why do you rent? Because it's simple. I don't have to worry about the roof or the yard or the this or the that. Or I'm waiting for, when we had a house, it was always house stuff. I got to do this to do. I'm waiting on the AC broke, the roof, the pool needs a new pool pump. Oh, the pool guy's coming today. The landscaper's coming tomorrow. The house needs to be repainted. Let's get new windows. I hate this kitchen. This countertop's ugly. Never ending. And I wasted some of the best years when my kids were little worrying about a house that we no longer even have. It was like we did all that stuff, put a bunch of money into it, realized we didn't even like the area that the house was in, and sold it. So then someone else got it. So for me personally, I don't want to trade my life for a house. I want to have the ability to go where God wants me to go, and not just me, but my family, and live more of an adventurous, simple life, whether it's adventure at home or adventure out, or it's a simple life. And you don't have to be involved in other people's stuff, because it's not really about them. It's not about you. It's what God's doing with you during this time. And it might be different than that other person or that other family or whatever. And so you just learn to kind of be a little bit more, I don't want to say secluded, but you're just not as involved in so many different things as you first thought you needed to be, to live a happy life. This is really like the organic modern lifestyle. It's tapping into organic things in a modern way. Like, I would rather organic eggs than, going out to eat. I would rather put that money into those things. My daughters learned how to bake breads and different things. I'd rather do that than buy bread from the store. It's like you're tapping into the organic, simple things instead of rushing all over the place. And it doesn't mean that you have to move off the grid or to the country. You can have an organic modern lifestyle anywhere, no matter where you're at. Like, you could have that. So we're in an apartment, and that's what we're trying to maintain. And it's simple. And when things get too chaotic or too out of control, I know I got to pull back. I'm saying yes to too many people, and I got to pull back. And there's different seasons. So you have to know what season you're in. Obviously, there's a season when I'm doing fitness. A lot revolves around that. Food does, my schedule does, because that's the season what's really important to me. But I don't continue that season like all year. I'm just doing it for, 3-6 months, or actually more like 3-4 months. And then I pull back a little bit and I go into a little bit more of a gentler season. So you're flowing at a different rhythm that allows you to engage in important things, have a productive life, produce fruit, nurture your family, be in good health. It's like prosper as your soul prospers, and not be burnt out, exhausted, aging internally. A lot of times our internal age is more than our real age because we're not taking care of ourselves. Our cells are aging rapidly, and your future self it's gonna catch up. So it's not a warning. This is obviously just an opportunity to say, hey, I might need to reset my life. I need to get control. I need to clear the clutter, declutter my life, declutter my house, declutter my friends, just declutter and live a simple life.